I'd like to call the meeting, the October 29th meeting of the Public Works Committee to order. And the first thing I'd like to do is have all the members introduce themselves and their districts, starting with our Vice Chairman, Chris Smith.
Smith, the Hill Towns.
Nearest 17th District, the host.
Pete Tunney, 27th District, Colony.
Charlie Cal, 30th District, Gilliland.
Joe O'Brien, the 25th District, representing West Albany and Loudonville.
Paul Miller, 32nd District, Gilliland.
Frank Moriello, 27th District, South Colony.
Paul Bergdorf, Latham, Loudonville, and parts of the village of Manans. Our first order of business is to review the minutes. Have the members had an opportunity to review the minutes? And if so, are there any suggestions, deletions, or comments? If not, I would entertain a motion to adopt the minutes made by Mr. O'Brien, seconded by Mr. Moriello. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Minutes are adopted. Okay, number one is the Times-Union. Doug McLean, I understand Mr. Belber is somewhere in the country buying entertainment for us.
He is in Nashville, that's correct.
He is in Nashville. Okay, the first thing I'd like to do is I'd like you to explain your action item, which is the Aramark extension, and then maybe go through the financial statements for us.
Sure thing. So we are requesting the extension of Aramark Sports and Entertainment Services. Aramark has been the concession and catering provider for the Times-Union Center since opening in 1990. They have just completed the first term of their latest contract from June 2015 and that expires in May 31st of 2020. And we are requesting the extension of another 5-year term that was in that contract starting on June 1st, 2020 and running until December 31st, 2025.
Quick question, is this a straight extension of the contract? Prices, profits?
Yes, all terms remain the same.
All the terms remain the same?
Correct.
Has their revenue continued to grow as the arena's attendance has continued to grow?
Yes, they have a sliding scale on their contract and have certain benchmarks where they start at 45% is where the contract starts, and then as they hit those benchmarks, it can increase up to 51%. Currently, with this year, we're at 47%, so we've increased 2 of those.
Okay. And how much did we get this year from our contract with them?
That number was, one moment. Pardon?
So far, we've made concessions of $750,000. That's our piece as of September for the 9 months. And then the catering piece is $64,000.
So over $800,000.
Yep.
Good, pretty good. Questions, comments from the committee? Mr. O'Brien?
It's unrelated to this, but I understand the Empire has closed shop.
They have, yes. We just actually, I just saw the same news article myself about half an hour ago. The Times-Union newspaper released it. There's a pending lawsuit with the league. So the entire league, not just Albany, it's the entire league, has ceased operations for the time being as they work through this lawsuit. From what I read is the lawsuit is prior to Albany Empire's existence, and it's I think dating back to 2009. So pending the lawsuit, they ceased operation and are working through obviously the litigation and to see.
And the offices are closed.
The offices are closed, yes.
Okay. Well, best of luck on that.
Do we know if they have billed anybody so far for next year's season?
They had started season ticket renewals. They have started that process. I think that this came to a shock probably to the teams themselves. So they were continuing on going. We are in our third year of our original term, and they had asked for a renewal of our contract to extend past this existing season. So I think at this point right now, of ticket holder information stuff, we'll have that announcement in the next couple of days as far as what people will do with their money. They are trying to save the season, so I don't think they want to quite hang up their hats yet, but.
Okay. As a season ticket holder, I have some personal concern. Any other questions on the renewal or the contract? If not, I would entertain a motion made by Mr. O'Brien, seconded by Mr. Tunney. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Matter is passed. Now, Doug, would you like to take us through the financial statements?
Sure thing. So this, for 2019, it's been an outstanding year. Our budget for 2019 was $874,000, and we are forecasting to exceed that budget by $1 million. As many of you know, our year started off extremely strong with 8 concerts in March alone, and then the NCAA championships, and it carried right on through the Empire season. Our fourth quarter is a little bit light on concerts, but is still going to turn a profit, and forecasting over $1 million ahead of budget is not a concern at all on our.
Questions, comments from anybody? If not, I would thank you very much. Thank you. And Mr. Belber to find us some more concerts.
We leave for LA on Sunday. I'll be going with them, so I'll definitely make sure that we do that.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Good luck.
All right. Number 2, Nancy, stormwater? Yep. Amending the resolution number 300 for 2017 regarding the Stormwater Coalition intermunicipal memorandum of understanding and approving the related seeker determination of significance.
Yeah, so I'm Nancy Heinzen with the Director, Program Coordinator for the Stormwater Coalition, and we have an existing intermunicipal agreement with 12 co-signatories. It actually ends as of 2022, but we want to amend some of the language in it. The reason is because some of the municipalities, there's a dues sliding scale. All the members receive basic services. That's described in the intermunicipal agreement. There's a subset of municipalities who want to pay more into the coalition. We need to word the intermunicipal agreement so we can pool those funds for a dedicated staff person. And the language refers to additional services in the IMA, that's section 2.1. The other part that we want to amend is to create a more stable funding base for the coalition. So to use some supplementary funds from the county to pay for to help out on staffing. And that describes as a staff support supplement. There's an outside limit to that, but it's to tide us over when we want to make sure we have a full-time person consistently in a very technical position that we can handle that. So the reason we're doing it is because what we're describing in terms of the staff positions are now in the 2020 budget, so we need to align the language of the intermunicipal agreement with the 2020 budget. The budget itself has been approved by all the coalition board members, board of directors, as the content of the intermunicipal agreement, so we're good to go on that. The other piece to mention is that one of the staffing positions that would be helped supplemented with the county is called a GIS coordinator position. That keeps all of our shared mapping database intact. We really need a technical person for that. So another amendment to the intermunicipal agreement is to expand the services of the coalition to include managing the water infrastructure data, not only the separated storm system, but also combined sewer overflow data, and also possibly the water purification district. So we needed to expand the range of what we can do in the coalition to allow that mapping work to go forward with the staff person. We need authorization from the legislature to sign the agreement, and as you're making that decision, coalition members of the municipalities are similarly having their governing boards make a decision. And that's it. Any questions?
Okay, well, I heard your presentation at the Audit and Finance Committee about the staff members.
Right.
And how they were going to be shared costs in many instances. of the coalition
Yep.
members in this agreement.
Yep.
Any other questions, concerns, comments by the members? If not, I would entertain a motion. Made by Mr. Tunney, seconded by Mr. Smith. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The matter is carried.
One last piece is the seeker determination, because this is an unlisted action. The legislature needs to approve the determination that it will not have impact on. Yeah, that's.
Number 3.
Request for
Part of
legislative
number 2.
action, yeah, part of 2.
They approved both.
Yeah, so if you approve both, okay, so not an issue then.
2 and,
2.
The secret included in two.
yeah.
The secret
Oh,
is
yeah.
included.
Okay, yeah, I didn't realize that.
Okay.
Okay. Not
Okay,
not a problem.
so
Good,
now,
we're out.
number 3.
Okay.
You're not out. Yeah, you're not out.
Well,
You can
not
move to the
exactly.
side, that's.
I moved to the side.
Approving and adopting the Albany County Stormwater Management Policy.
Hi. Good evening. Yes, this policy outlines the procedures and responsibilities of county departments in enforcing and implementing the stormwater permit compliance program. Albany County adopted local law number 7 to prohibit any discharges into our MS4 or into local waters. The stormwater management policy was drafted by an interdepartmental working group for the purpose of laying out stormwater review and enforcement policies and procedures that are required to enforce local law 7. So this policy has been drafted by the coalition and other departments, and we're asking for the legislature to approve the document.
Okay. I have a very basic question. What are your enforcement mechanisms if someone violates the policy?
There are warnings issued first off, and for example, if somebody has an illicit discharge and it's reported to us, there will be warnings, and the person has the opportunity to make good by the problem. And if they fail to do so, there are different fines that can be put on the establishment.
Right, and who is covered by the policy? Is it just private parties or municipalities or
This is
political
for,
subdivisions?
this is, Albany County has the enforcement authority, like DPW can enforce this. And so if there is a private entity discharging pollutants into our MS4, then they will be subject to the fines of the policy. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, so it's just
Okay.
against private parties.
It could be, or it could be, a municipality, if they're doing so, that's the same thing. If the town of Colony were to be discharging something into our MS4, they would be subject to this as well.
So it covers virtually anyone doing a discharge into the stormwater program.
It covers discharges into the pipes and system that Albany County owns.
Okay.
So that, when I talked about the mapping that we had done collaboratively, we have all of that mapped now. So if there's a pollutant going into the county pipes, all right, that local law gives the county the power under police's or commissioner's jurisdiction to take enforcement action against the source of that pollution. And the source of the pollution is all over the place. It could be a municipality, it might be a private entity, any, a lot of different scenarios.
Many years ago, the airport had a problem with propylene glycol
Yeah,
being discharged into the Shaker Creek. But something like that would be covered.
yeah, and actually what happened, that would have been covered. More recent regulations requires the airport now to have their own separate Clean Water
Right.
Act, stormwater. Yeah, so it's kind of shifted
Just
over
a
time.
historical reference.
Yeah, exactly. You're right, exactly.
Not a beef at the airport. Okay, any questions, comments, questions? If not,
Make the motion.
make a motion by Mr. Milner, seconded by Mr. Frenier. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The matter is carried. Okay, Commissioner Latino.
Thank you.
Good to see you without a sling.
Good evening, Chairman. It's nice to be out of this link, whether I'm supposed to be or not, I am.
Authorizing an agreement with Gatto Flooring LLC regarding the purchase of carpet and vinyl flooring.
Yes, we want to enter a contract with the Gatto Group for the DSS, second and seventh floor for all their carpeting there. We tried to put this through our regular carpeting contract, or GP Land, who was a state contractor, and they buy state contract carpeting. The price that they came in was $420,000. So we went out to the OGS, we sent all the requests to the OGS contractors under that group to get bids. They were the lowest responsive, actually the only responsive bidder for this work. And they have the apprenticeship program, which we were also looking in this work here. And they came in at $347,421 with a 5% contingency of $17,000, a little over $17,000 to do this work.
So they, with a competitive bid with one responder, you save $60,000 over the state contract price.
Correct. This is also a state contractor. We sent it all to the state contractor. So the gentleman that we deal with, GP Flooring, is also a state contractor. We have them under contract for flooring.
Oh,
We had
okay.
requested a price from them first. They came in, like I said, $420,000. And then we decided, and we also, hitting that price point, we knew we would have to have the apprenticeship program. They did not have an apprenticeship program. This is why we went out to the other New York State contractors. There's like, if I believe, there's like 50 of them in the state contract for carpeting and flooring. And Gatto was the only responsive bidder that actually bid on the job, and they came in, like I said, about $60,000 difference. With actually a little bit higher quality carpet too than we were gonna get before.
Okay, any questions? Mr. O'Brien?
Are these carpet tiles, or is it?
They're carpet tiles.
Okay.
They're carpet tiles, and we like to keep it, we get extra stock. We have that, so, when we do have problems, we can change them out. We're trying to get away from the regular broadloom carpet.
Yeah.
It's just, once it's dingy, it's a lot easier to change out, and we have guys here now that can change out a few carpet tiles when we need to.
Any other questions, concerns?
No.
Comments? If not, I would entertain a motion. Made by Mr. O'Brien, seconded by Mr. Tunney. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the matter is passed.
Thank you very much.
Very much, Mr. All right, Commissioner Raimondo, you're back.
I'm back. It's a quick one.
Authorizing a licensing agreement with Callahan Industries for the purpose of locating and constructing and maintaining a removable salt storage shed.
Yes, so Albany County DPW would like to construct a salt shed located on County Route 101 on Callahan's property for the purpose of shortening our time frame that it takes to load our salt trucks with salt and disperse salt to New Scotland and Queemans. Right now, there's about a 14-mile distance between where we are proposing to put this salt shed and the New Scotland salt shed. And there's a 9-mile difference between this location and the Queeman salt shed. So if we're given this opportunity, it would be able to cut down on fuel prices and the time it takes to load and disperse our salt during winter storms. It's a licensing agreement, and the agreement would allow for us to construct a salt shed on Callahan's property. It's about a 35-foot by 40-foot fabric dome shed. It would be constructed on concrete blocks that are removable. So if at any time, if the agreement were to be terminated, we wouldn't be out the structure. We could remove it and place it someplace else.
Is this a structure that you currently have, or is it something you have to purchase?
It's something that we're going to be purchasing. As a matter of fact, we went to CAB yesterday for the purchase of this structure.
Okay. $1,800 a year?
Yeah, we had an appraisal done on like a 50 by 50 foot square, and that was the fair market value of it, and Callahan is willing to take that.
Yeah, yeah. Not
All
much
right.
for that.
Comments, questions? If not, I would entertain a motion. Made by Mr. Miller, seconded by Mr. Smith. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. The matter is carried. All right, and the last one is authorizing an agreement with CNH Industrial America for the purchase of a 2019 Case wheel loader.
Yes, this wheel loader is for the purpose of loading and unloading salt, and we would be putting it to use at the new salt shed. It's on state contract for a price not to exceed $149,629.
Would it be stored inside the shed?
Yeah, there would be room inside the shed for storage of it.
So
Yes.
it's not like it's out in the weather and...
No, although some of our equipment is out in the weather at other locations.
And this obviously is a budgeted item.
It's being paid for out of our capital plan for equipment.
Okay. Questions from the members? Comments? If not,
I have a question. This is brand new?
It would be brand new, yes.
I was looking for the number fast to figure out answer.
if there are no further comments, I would entertain a motion. Made by Mr. Cal, seconded by Mr. Moriello. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The matter is passed.
Thank you.
That all the business that is before us.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
Mr. Miller, Mr. O'Brien, all those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Thank you.